So you're an AI developer, you're writing that code, and you wish someone could write a book about your AI code. What if AI could do it for you? That happens here in this episode of the Cozy AI Kitchen. There are few people in the world of AI who are developing at a level that has garnered in their career 50 patents and has actually chosen to grace this kitchen stage. That is Rob Chambers. Welcome, Rob. Rob, all right.
Hi, John.
The legend. Rob has created something new. It's called the Book of AI, but it's more than that. Rob, but can you give some background on how you got working in AI in the first place?
Yeah, sure. So I started at Microsoft a long time ago. And sometime in '99, I started working on speech recognition, speech synthesis, and I've been doing AI things ever since then. About 5 years ago, started working on vision. A few years ago, LLMs hit the world. The rest is history.
And here we are. So, you are a true master chef, and I'm very glad to give you the stage. Please, Chef Chambers.
Thank you. All right. So today what I'm going to talk about is this blog posting that we have about the Book of AI. We put this up on Monday last week. It is going to talk about how I used the tools underneath the Book of AI to create it itself. I needed to do this because I have a CLI tool that I want to have developers use to build their apps to interact with AI without actually using code at all if they wanted. And you need a lot of great documentation for that. And so traditional documentation methods, it's a lot of work. I didn't want to do all that work.
This CLI, what is it called?
It's the Azure AI CLI.
Okay.
It's an open source repository on GitHub. We'll put a link down in the show notes. But yeah, it's used to do any kind of scenario you want with AI.
Makes it easier.
Makes it a lot easier, right?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so this is what the Book of AI looks like. It's using Material MK Docs to actually format it. John recommended this. It's a fantastic platform for doing documentation.
It's beautiful.
It's Markdown at its base, and so AI is really good at generating Markdown, so I used that. It was a goal of ours to make sure that we could use AI to generate it. What the book does is it starts from the very beginning, and if you are new to Azure, it'll tell you how to get started. It shows you how to do the setup of the CLI itself. You click there, you can install it on Windows, Mac, Linux. You can even run it in a VS Code dev container or in Codespaces.
It's not easy to write all this documentation, Rob.
Yeah, I don't think I wrote any of this actually in this page. And so once you get it installed, you can start off and just go into OpenAI and check it out. Then it's time to actually get started with the Azure OpenAI system. And so we've got, you have to do a little bit of setup there. Normally you'd have to go to the portal, you'd have to find the endpoint, you'd have to find the keys. There are all these magical things that you have to use.
Kind of a pain, right?
It really is a lot of pain, a lot of copying and pasting. But we've tried to make that easier. So you can just grab that command,
easy.
AI init OpenAI, come over here, and we're going to use that command. We're just going to paste it in and run. Now what it's going to do is it's going to find my subscription automatically. I'm a developer here at Microsoft, so I've got a lot of subscriptions. So that's why it's taking a moment to do that. It's going to show them to me, show me the default one. I'm just going to press enter. It's now going to look for all my OpenAI resources that I have. It's going to enumerate them. It's going to show me that list. I could create one if I wanted to in the CLI without going to the portal, or I can just select one. So I'm just going to select it, type ahead, part of the name of it. I'll press enter.
Type ahead, nice.
Type ahead, right?
There's a real craft to this CLI here, Rob.
It really is. I think there's a craft that's been missing for CLIs back from the day.
It tastes good.
Thank you. So then you have to do a deployment of a model. And so here there's a chat deployment. We can pick between one of these. We could create one. I'm just going to go ahead and use GPT-4o. And we also have a selection for embeddings in case you're doing sort of a search scenario. You can skip this, but I've already got one set up, so I'll just press enter. Now it takes all that information and saves it locally so that it knows how to connect back to that service. We go back over to the book. There's a step here for you to see that you actually did do it correctly. We just copy it, we paste it, we hit enter. That's the endpoint that I need to hit.
So the Book of AI and the CLI are like tightly coupled like this.
They're good friends. They're like siblings almost.
Nice.
Right? One can't depend without the other. And so once you've got that set up, you can go to the next step. Now, the Book of AI is designed to be able to walk you through all the scenarios from the very base. And so you might start with chat, right? A lot of people use chat. So you don't have to write any code. You can just grab this right here, come back over. We're going to clear the screen so you can see it better. What is the capital of France? There, capital of France. I'm here inside my IDE, Works great.
This is all from the CLI.
All from the CLI.
And you can learn in the AI book.
You just learn right here. In fact, if you don't want to run it, you can just click this little toggle and it'll show you what the
output
is.
Oh, very cool.
You know, so you can set a system prompt.
You've typed all this in here?
I gave it access to the file system, and I gave it access to being able to run things, and so it actually ran and captured some output, and it can save those in files. We'll see a real demo of that in just a little bit about a real-world use case. So
the AI wrote your book of AI that uses, Wow.
Yeah, I wrote some of the articles to give it sort of a flavor of style and content, and then it started writing the others, and it was an iterative process, just different prompts.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. So teaching the user how to do all these things, one of the things you might do with a prompt is instead of typing it in, you want to put it into a file. Devs like files, right? So you can use the standard sort of @ syntax to reference stuff that's in a file. Read it out of that. We'll see that as part of the demo. It also supports things like sticking the answer into a file. So if I copy that one, I can paste it in there. It asks the question and sticks it into a file so I can look at it right there. So no matter what you want to do, it actually can write things onto the disk. It can read things from the disk. It can look for things in the file system, things like that.
It really kind of cooks a very complex meal with very little bit of effort, it looks like.
I doing this demo, I've written 0 code, and I have a way I can actually use GPT to output files. All right. Now in chat, there are these things called chat histories. And so if we grab this to see what it looks like, I'm going to paste it. There's also an interactive mode, because that's like what you use if you go to one of our playgrounds in Azure or the ChatGPT commercial site or Copilot. Come in here, I can be like, hey, tell me a joke. Sometimes you get good jokes. We'll see. What's it say? Why did the computer go to the doctor? Because it had a bad case
chuckle.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not great. But if you press enter, you get this little context menu. You can reset the conversation. You can exit, whatever you want to do. But now there's this file called history.json. That's actually what gets sent back and forth between the computer and the service.
You can use that for evals later.
That's right. I can save that and read. In fact, the next thing I'll show you is you can pick that conversation back up using input chat history command line option. Paste that bad boy in there. And then I can say another. But funnier. It's such humor.
I feel like you're like skateboarding through all this stuff. It's very elegant. Please keep continuing.
The book tries to help it be a skateboard park.
That's exactly.
Right? So this is kind of the basics. Now, if you use the CLI for a while, you might be thinking, like, I really want to write my own code to do this. Rob, how can I do that? Well, there's another tab. You just click the Generate Code tab.
Generate Code.
And there are all these different programming languages that we support across all of our different SDKs.
Not just Python, we love it.
Not just Python. We've got Go, we've got Java, we've got JavaScript, we've got Python. Let's go ahead and look at the JavaScript one. So, you can look at all the different samples we can create. There are about 65 different samples of AI things you can do across the different languages. The Assistance API, chat completions, Phi, all kinds of stuff, right? But you can also, because we're on the JavaScript tab, it tells you how to just get the JavaScript samples or the ones just for OpenAI. It also tells you very specifically, here's how you can generate some code. So we're going to go ahead and do that.
Just for the at-home viewers, there's so much happening in this system. If you notice, Rob mentioned he actually runs the code to generate the text for the book of AI.
That's right. So we're going to paste this in here. Now we got some code. Right, standard kind of directory. We'll go back over to the book because I had the book look at the code and then describe the code back to me about what it was. So if we look here on the deep dive of how it works, it's got a couple links. You can download it. It breaks it down into the various steps of the code. First step, get the stuff from the environment. Second step, check to see if those variables are set. If not, tell you because you have to go set them. Or you can use the AI dev shell to actually automatically set the environment so you don't have to. Create the client, have a little loop, lots and lots of descriptions in here. And again, I didn't write that, it wrote that. Pretty fun.
Well, you wrote the AI that writes it. So
I did write the AI that writes the book.
There we go.
Right, so it's a bit recursive, but then I started using the CLI to actually write the CLI as well.
Why not?
Why not, right? So then if you were going to try to run this, you just do the standard sort of npm install. It'll go off and get the dependencies. Install them. I'll show you normally when you have sample code, you have to go get that endpoint again and figure out how you're going to do authentication.
How do you wire it together?
Right. Well, instead, what you do is you just type AI dev shell. And it populates the environment with all the information you need to run the sample.
Nice. It's like brings all your keys to the foreground.
It's right here. It also supports managed identity. It also supports keys. So you can go in either path that you want.
Safe.
That's right. We'll go ahead and run it. And it looks a lot like the CLI experience. So then I can say, what is the capital of the U.S.? And there it is. There's the answer.
Good job.
It's that easy.
Nice job, AI.
So that's chat. That's the first layer in sort of understanding AI
Whoa.
in the book of AI.
This is like level 1 in the
Level
video
1.
game. Got it.
Class 101.
Okay.
Right? The next class is function calling. Now, this is actually how the AI CLI does all of its work.
We love function calling in the kitchen.
I love function calling. It can do anything that you want. It's so fun to make it have new functions and new capabilities.
Yeah.
So in this, the CLI also has those. If you've ever asked chat like what time it is
Right.
or what is the date, it has no idea in the default API. But the CLI has a bunch of functions built into it that you can turn on with this command line called built-in functions. So I can just grab this to see what the time is and paste it in, or I can do this to do math. It's got some basic math functions in it.
Right.
You know, what is 3.5 to the power of 9? LLMs are no good at this, but hooking up functions, the model will call back and tell us, hey, call that function. We orchestrate calling the function, give it back and forth, and then it knows the answer is 7,891.508 approximately. You know, that's better than me. I can't do that math in my head.
It's like the scene in The Matrix where Trinity says, I want to fly a helicopter.
And then here it is. There it is, right. So again, I'm not going to go into as much detail, but you know, you could generate the code for that. You know, we could go over here to C# and see how to generate the system. We can go in here and look at the code. You know, in C# it's pretty nice because we can use attributes. And so just write these functions like this, have an attribute that says what the function actually does. And then this tells you exactly how to do it. It's just all the code. You can generate the code, run the code, add your own functions, do whatever you want.
Shows you how to walk through the recipe.
That's right. That's right.
Nice.
That's right. So then there's a bunch of other levels in here where there are things like you can use our AI search capabilities to do vector databases and embedded using embeddings. So that way you can do these very fancy, you know, talk to your data scenarios. We have the AI assistance API, OpenAI assistance API that we walk you through all that. You can just use this tool to do it. You can list your assistants. You can do code interpreter and function calling or file search.
Wow, this is like a skyscraper of knowledge here.
You just
but in the
level
opposite
1, level
direction.
2, level 3. You know, one by one you go through it. And each one of these things you can use directly without writing your own code.
Wow.
Or you can use it to generate code in the programming language that you like. Which programming language do you like?
I like C# now. It's nice.
C#
I like
pretty
it.
good.
Tastes
It's one of my favorites too.
I want to do Go. I haven't gotten there, but
Go's fun.
people love Go.
Yeah, actually, when I wrote these Go samples, it actually helped me write the samples as well. In addition, so AI, use AI as much as you can every day. That's really the message. All right, so let's do a quick example with file search. Just talk about it for a second. So with the assistance API, you can create an assistant. You can turn on these different tools, like you can turn on file search or code interpreter. But what I thought, and then you have to upload files to a vector store, and then you have to like associate the vector store with the assistant. That just seemed like too much work to me. So I decided, we're gonna have this command, AI chat assistant create, give it the name, tell it what files, boom. All of that stuff, it just does all those things.
That's beautiful. Yeah, like wildcard.
Yeah, right. You just recursively go and find all the markdown files and add it. And in fact, I did that. And so if what we do, we go back here and I do an AI chat assistant list, you're going to see a bunch of assistants that I've written. And we're going to grab one of them right here, and we're going to copy that. We're going to do AI chat, and you can just give it the assistant ID, like that. And we're going to say we want to do a chat interactively. Now what I did is I used the CLI to create all the markdown for the book of AI, and then I used the CLI to take all the markdown and put it into an assistant vector store and use embeddings to make it so I can search over it. And now I'm using the CLI so I can talk to it to ask it questions about everything that's in the CLI's book of AI. So I can be like, how do I get started if I want a console app in Python that can call functions with OpenAI assistance API? And it didn't work, but that's okay.
Happens sometimes
That's
on the
okay.
AI
Sometimes
highway.
it doesn't work. We will try it again. We'll ask it a slightly different question. How do I get started with OpenAI assistance? I'm a little sad.
No problem.
Should have worked.
No problem.
But the idea is, I'm in a different region, and sometimes in this different region we have updates. doesn't work, it's okay.
When you're skateboarding, sometimes,
You fall.
You know?
You could
That's good.
fall.
That's
It's
good.
okay. It's okay.
It's
But the
human.
idea is you could have used that to actually ask it questions and say, hey, how do I get started? It'll tell you. You can ask it for references. It'll write all that down.
There's nothing more powerful in the kitchen when actually an appliance breaks down, because we know we can fix it here.
Yeah, if we had a little more time, I could probably just ask the CLI to fix it itself. Okay, so now we've been talking about how we use the CLI to actually make the book of AI.
Okay, yeah.
Because without the book of AI, it's harder to
Right.
use the CLI.
Drum roll.
So what we're going to do, one of the scenarios is there's all that source code, but sometimes you update that source code and then it's like, oh, I got to go update 50 different documents on how to use.
In multiple languages.
In multiple
Thank you.
languages, that's right. So let's, we actually did that recently. So we updated the samples from the C# Beta 1 library to the Beta 5 library. And I'm going to go grab those real quick. I'm going to do that because I've got the AI CLI repo over here. I'm just going to run a test. We test the CLI with the CLI also. So I'm going to run that. I'm going to say get the test from tests 3, and it has to contain AI dev new, and it has to contain C# and OpenAI and O1, because there are 3 steps. It generates the code, then it'll restore the dependencies, and it'll run it. The first step, though, is to generate the code. So we're going to do that, and it generates all the C# samples for me. And it's going to
All the samples.
all the samples that get created, because the other steps test them. And so in this test result directory, those are the samples these are now using Beta 5 because I did that a while ago. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to put those over into the book.
Oh.
Right, just like this. And I'll put them into the book of AI in the correct directory. Like that. Copy them all in. And now what you'll see, if we go over to the get diff view in my VS Code instance, there are all the new samples, a whole bunch of new samples. Now, if I look at it, you can see that we've updated from Beta 1 to Beta 5. And there are also changes in code. We'll come back and look at what those changes are in just a second. But what we're going to do is we're going to use that to actually build that new documentation. So those samples are in these files called sample overview. Oops, sample dash, I'm in the wrong directory. Got to go back to the book.
The book of AI can't type for you yet.
Well, it probably could, but I don't have that hooked up. So there's a lot of samples, right? But I don't want all of them, so I just want the ones that are for OpenAI. There's still a lot of them. I just want the ones that are in C#. Whoops. Got to have a slash there. All right, I'm going to stick those into a file, right? So now I've got this file, and that's going to come in handy in a second. We're going to get back to that. I need to update all those. Those are the ones that got changed. So what I'm going to look at real briefly is the prompt that helps me update all these samples. Prompt engineering, a lot of people are like, is this really hard? I don't think it's too hard if you practice it. It's a lot like just telling somebody that's in high school how to do something with a lot of very specific instructions. So that's what this is. There's just a bunch of steps here. I talk about what the samples are. There's an include file that has the background on we're using mkdocs, things like that. And then I give it an example of what I want it to do. It's basically telling it, hey, look at the source code, look at the sample, make the changes as appropriate. That's all that really does. And
Your process is elegant. Just want to comment there.
I appreciate that.
I had a
Thank
moment
you.
there, sort of.
Thanks. I have fun every day. See, I have the best job in the world. I get to use AI to help me build AI and make it easy to use AI for everybody that wants AI. Got to say AI a lot, but hey, it's a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to get back to that. So this chat thing, we used built-in functions a little bit ago. We're just going to say we want to use built-in functions again. We're going to give it a user prompt from that directory. It's that one. And remember, I said you can use an @ to read the text from the file as if I typed it on the command line right there.
Good.
And then I'm going to say, in that prompt, there was a thing up at the top of it, which is a variable, effectively. It's a templated system.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so there's this sample overview, right? That's a name that I'm going to tell it which sample I want it to do.
Right.
And then after we do one of them to make sure it works, we're going to just iterate through all of them in a for loop.
Like a script.
For loops are pretty cool, pretty powerful. So you just type that in. So for each var sample overview in @ files. because that's the file I created that has all the files in it. Now, usually in my process, I just do one at first to make sure it works, and then I do all of them as I'm developing. And so I have there's this parameter called max, and I'm going to just do one of them.
Sure.
Just, it's going to take the
So
first
that way
one.
make the first pancake.
That's right. Press enter. It reads the prompt, and you see what it's doing is it's actually reading the code. It's looking in the directory. It's reading more code. It's now trying to chew on it to figure it out. So while it's doing that, I said we'd go back and look to see what some of those changes were. Let's look at this one. And so one of the changes we made in the .NET API was we changed how list ordering worked. It used to be an explicit parameter we passed as the second parameter to that function, but instead now there's this thing called the message collection options, and you pass that in instead. Additionally, we now have support for paging, so you can go through many, many, many pages. There's a function helper here called getAllValues, so that this for loop actually works across all those pages. So in this file, you're going to see that there are 3 changes. 2 of them are related to that sort order, and 1 of them is related to how you create a message for the assistant. You have to pass in the role.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go back. Oh, look, it's done. Okay.
Out of the
So
oven.
let's go look at the diff view and see what it actually did. So it hit this sample overview. I'm going to close a couple windows here so we have more space, and I'll scroll down. And so on the left is the original file, on the right is the other file. Look, it changed a colon to a period. That's because I also have formatting rules in there that I didn't use last time I ran it. So it's like, oh yeah, well, I know you want me to update the source code, but I'm going to update this format as well. Keep scrolling down, and magically, as if by magic, there's the change to the help documentation to show the list order. There's the change to show the difference in how you create the message. And here's the other one on the other sort order usage. And that was it, 1 file. Didn't take very long.
Wow.
Press up arrow, control backspace a couple times. Then, I want to loop over all of them, but like I can use multi-threading. So I'm going to tell it to do 4 of those files at a time. I'm going to go back to my files. I already did the first one, so I'm just going to delete that one. We don't need to do that one again, right? Constant optimizer. Come in here. I'm going to press enter. All the stuff gets jammed into the console window. It's going to go do its thing. It's going to take it about 40 seconds.
Okay.
And then it's going to have all the files updated for me, just like that.
Well, this is a great moment for you, Rob, to tell the rest of the world, developers out there, you're watching this occur. Rob does this a lot. I can't run as fast as he does like this, but you all want to do that, right? What are tips for developers out there to be in this space?
That's a really good question. I think the foundation of it is that I started with my team about a year ago. We build the OpenAI SDK components for Azure. We build all the other SDK libraries as well. And I was like, why aren't we using AI ourselves all the time? And so I put a challenge to the team. I put a challenge to myself, which is, how much is too much? Can you use AI too much every day? I haven't found that to be true. You can use AI for everything. And the other part of this is, if you start doing that, it'll be maybe a little painful at first sometimes, but you're going to learn. It's just like learning a new programming language. It's just like learning a new skill. That's what it is. It's just a new skill. Practice, 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 and then you can be 10 times more successful than you are. And I really feel that that's where a lot of members on my team have shown up now.
Well, there's a post you mentioned in the beginning, but there's a post out there just to learn more about the Book of AI. You can visit the Book of AI. Thank you, Rob, for cooking with us on the show. All of you want to do AI, please check out the Book of AI. Thank you.